Hey, couples, let's talk about love.
We're not experts, but just sharing our love journey.
Hey, babe.
Hey, how are you? How was your day?
Oh, it was good. It was good.
That don't sound like that was good.
It was a lot of work today.
I
I
bet
really did some work.
that commute was terrible, huh?
It was from the bedroom to the office to the home office.
Oh, woo. Man, you just gotta, step over.
Oh, cut it out. How was your day today, though, babe?
It was good. My commute was could be hectic, but it wasn't bad.
Okay. How
You
about
know,
work?
work was great.
Busy?
Always,
Always, you are.
it never nonstop, but it's busy is good. I feel busy is good. Keeps my mind flowing.
I know that's right. Well, I hope you all had a good day today. So, today's topic is we are still a work in progress and will always be.
Under construction.
Oh, I
Always.
like it. You be coming up with some good
Always under
catchphrases. I
construction.
know that's right. I don't know. I think I've said this before. I don't know a marriage that is perfect, 100% perfect. If it is, please reach out to her,
One
his
of
piece podcast, because we want to talk to you guys.
one of my former coworkers, he said he was married for, he said it was like 40 or 50 years. And he said they still deal with stuff. And I was like, man.
Wow.
He said, we love each other and everything. He said, but there's things that still, he said, I still get on her nerves, still get on my nerves. And, there are things that I say that still make her mad and things that she said that make me mad. And then we get right back to it because, we've been together for so long, so you understand it. But you're always working, so you never stop working. And I think the work in progress is key because it also speaks to, I look at it from two different perspectives. I look at it from the perspective of we are, still working on ourselves and on our
Yeah.
relationship,
Yeah.
but then we're working on our relationship, which is the positive side, like the way you say it, because that's important. In order for you to grow, you have to work on it.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to keep it going. If you just sat at home and did nothing, you'd be bored. You do nothing, and that's how it is at work. So, same thing with your relationship. Like you can't just come in and do nothing. Like you have to keep working at it. So the work in progress is not just the work we put into, that we've gotten from therapy or the work that we put in with communicating. It's also the work that we put in with just coming home and caring for each other and
Yeah.
spending time and
Yeah.
finding time, and no matter like I'm always busy, work, I
Yes.
run a
Always.
nonprofit and it's a lot and I don't have a big team. So it's a lot going on. And I'm a community man, so I'm about that community.
Yeah.
So, but making sure that we find time for each other. Like there are times where when I shut it down, it's just me and you, or there may be times where you need me.
Yeah.
And
Which was a couple of nights
yeah, a
ago.
couple
I
nights
mean,
ago, you
thank God
needed
he
me,
was
and you know
here.
what? I and by the grace of God, because I was supposed to be at a community meeting,
Oh, my God.
and thank God I wasn't because you needed me,
I
and
did.
um, it was great that I could be here. And you know what? I had something I had to do. I wanted to finish this report, but you know what? I was like, what's more important is my wife. So we just sat there and, that was our time together and went to bed.
Yeah.
I woke up early, got some more stuff done, but the goal was, it was all about you at that time. And that's what that work in progress is about.
And it's also like recognizing one other thing too. Uh, our phones have become our lifeline. It's like another limb. And one day we were at dinner. Again, this is why we are a work in progress. And I'm sitting there, and my husband's just he just on his cell phone. And I'm like, hello, I'm here. And I got a little upset about it. And I think I said, I'm sitting here. Why aren't you paying attention to me? We're at dinner. We're at dinner together. This is what's together. And I think you were putting pictures in a folder. And I'm like, yo, you can do that later. Those pictures are not going anywhere. Again, we're a work in progress. We need to know that if we're sitting there together. And sometimes we do forget that. Sometimes I'll be on my phone and I'll forget, it's not that I don't care. It's not that he doesn't care. We just got to remember
You
And
get
we're
down that
out here
rabbit
for
hole.
us.
Start going down that
You
rabbit
sure
hole.
do. I know. And
That's
then
it. And it's just like nonstop. And
it
just like,
is.
and another thing pops up, and you're like, oh wait, let me do that real quick. Oh wait, let me do that real quick. And you, because everything is done so quickly, you may knock out 10 tasks in like 5 minutes, but that's 5 minutes that you didn't spend, with the person that's in front of you. And I remember that one time where we were all, it was us and the kids, and we were sitting around the dinner table, and
Our
all
oldest,
everyone was sitting, and everybody had their phones.
a phone or a tablet,
Yep,
right?
everybody had a phone, like, and we're right there. And what was the craziest thing is, like, sometimes we were even sending stuff to each other,
We were texting each other at the
like,
table.
at the table. Like, it was the craziest thing, and it was like, "Wait a second,
This is
this
not
is
right.
insane." Like,
Yeah.
we're all here, and it's not like we don't talk to each other, but, like, you pull out your phone for one thing, and it becomes, it reminds me of, like, yawning. You get a group of people,
And one
and one
person
person yawns,
yawns
and
and
now
then we all
everybody
yawn.
yawns. Like, it's like, so you pull out your phone, you're like, "Oh, let me look up this thing I'm telling you about," and then you talk about it, and then the other person says, "Oh, I'm gonna look it up too," and another person, "Well, let me look this up because I got something I want to share with you," and then it becomes a whole thing, and now we're all yawning or looking at our phone together. So it's like, but it's taken away from each other, and there's times where, yeah, we'll be on our phone,
Yeah.
and there's times when we are laughing and saying stuff and showing each other. But I think it's also how you do it. Like, there's times when we're going to read together. There's times we're
Mhm.
going to play together. There's times we're going to watch TV together. There's times we're going to, work on stuff. Like, whatever it is, like, we do it. There's times where we're like both working on tasks, and we'll just be sitting in the same place. But you know what? It's almost like being a coworker together at that
Yeah.
time.
Pretty
But
much.
as long as you're on the same page, like, one person can't be working on a task while the other one is waiting for you to play a cards.
Yeah.
Like, that's where.
And I do remember at one point, like again, hiccup communication, and we've found a way to Remy what how to keep each other abreast of things. I was like, "You're not home. Where are you?" "Oh, I had to do this. I had to do this." "Well, how come I didn't know that?" And you're like, "Well, I mentioned it to you." Sometimes we got so much going on in our heads. What's going on? I'm like, "No, you didn't mention it to us." Now, what we about to do? We about to start arguing because I know I'm saying he didn't mention it. He said he did mention it. So what do? He puts it on the calendar. He literally printed out a calendar because he is so busy. But also say, like, you need me and I need you. Sometimes we got to put busy on the back burner because job gets you, you get sick, they're gonna replace you. You pass away, they're gonna replace you. So we got to make sure that we continue to check in with each other, and that's all I wanted him to understand. And I have to be a little more lenient about. Look, I know you're busy, but I'm still here. And I think one of the hard parts is because we're empty nesters and it's just the two of us, we do rely on each other a lot. We do rely on you know, that conversation. And I remember at one point, like, I hadn't heard from him all day. He says, "You have to give me grace." And I thought about that, I do, because I know he is busy. I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Why haven't he got in touch with me? What's going on? Why can't I get in touch with him? I mean, and again, that was a bone of contention for me. Like, I should be able to pick up this phone, call you, and you pick up this phone right away. And I think again, work in progress. I say, he explained to me, it's not all the time I can do that.
Or I would say, you know what? I used to say the phone works both ways. So I'm like, if I didn't get you, but sometimes you reaching out to me would help me because
Well, that's what I'm
it
saying. If
stop.
I
It would,
pick up the phone
but
and
it would
call you,
stop. Or you even send me a text, because what
mhm,
it does is it allows me the opportunity to stop and pause. Because sometimes, like, and I looked at it from that perspective. Like, when I say it works both ways, like, you need me to call you, but then you know what? I may needed you to call me because I'm going. I'm at 100 miles a minute, and your call, your text is going to pause me, which is what I needed at that time.
but see that
And which is important because it's like, you know what? It does stop me, and I can say, you know what? Let me take a breath. respond to my wife, check in on her at this point because she's checking in on me. And I love that. Like when you would start to check in on me, because you knew it was like, okay, he must be super busy.
Right,
So
and I was
let me just
yeah.
send him a message and hope his day is going great. And I was like, that was great because you know what? It would stop me. And you don't see this, but on my end, it's me with a smile on my face, reading his text, and like, oh, and whatever was going on is no longer happening for those, you know, 10, 15, 30 seconds, whatever it is. Because right now, I'm focused on reading what you said and responding to what you said.
But let's be honest, it wasn't always like that. It was at some point I would say, "Okay, I've been busy all day." I'm like, "You got a bathroom break, don't you? Can't go in the bathroom, text me right quick or something like
Even then,
that."
I'm gonna tell you that. And I'm gonna tell you, being busy sometimes, get into the bathroom. I'll be sitting there like, maybe, you ever had those times when you sit there and you gotta go and you just can't, especially with all the Zoom world and everything like that.
Mhm.
Oh my God, you be jumping up, then I'm scared. I'm gonna have the thing in my earpiece in my mouth, in my ear,
Oh
they're gonna
my
hear me.
gosh,
So like,
really?
oh no, they're and especially where I'm at now where, bathroom is scarce, so it's not the same,
Oh my goodness.
so yeah, that was I mean, like adjusting, but it's also centered around figuring out the routine, figuring out the
Exactly.
adjustments, what adjustments you have to make
And that
to take care of
calendar
each
thing
other.
helped a lot
Oh
because
yeah, the
I would
calendar.
know, okay, this is why I haven't heard from him
And look,
today.
in the calendar, I'm gonna tell you, she didn't want to do the calendar at
I did
first.
not.
When I used to talk about the calendar, she used to get mad at me about the calendar.
I did.
Why do I'm your wife or I'm your girlfriend? Why do I need to put something on the calendar?
I did.
Babe, I put everything on the calendar. I put mail letter on the calendar.
Yes.
Like, because you know what? I'll put that letter up in my visor and we drive it, and that thing will sit in my visor for months because I'll never remember it. But if I put mail, it'll pop up at the time I need it
But
to.
that just lets you know how busy he is.
Yes.
He gets
So,
extremely busy.
but the calendar is key, and we even got our oldest daughter on the calendar. She wants us to watch the grandbabies.
Put it on the calendar.
She said, "Can you watch the grandbabies yet?" And she remember when we asked you to ask, I don't. You see it on the calendar, babe? I don't see it
Nope.
on my calendar. You see it on your calendar? She's
Nope,
like, nope.
Allison.
So everybody knows. Put it on the calendar, and I even tell people at work. I've had coworkers be like, "Why do you need to put it on the calendar? You can't remember." I no.
Just being honest.
I said, no. I said,
And
look, if my wife got to put it on the calendar, everybody got to put it on
I
the
know
calendar.
that's right. And then, and then sometimes we do digress a little bit. We have our moments, but again, we're a work in progress. We can't be perfect, but we know how to handle it a little
Oh, but that's the
better.
thing, yeah,
That's the most
and
important
better,
part.
not perfectly, but better.
Exactly. We know how to walk away
Hmm.
when we're in this heated, because we do still have conversations. We're both like,
Recognize when you're not yourself.
and I think that's extremely important, like to know where I am just by my body language,
Hmm.
how quiet I've gotten,
Hmm.
how distance I seem, and
Hmm.
say, I it's a little harder because Jay's always in a good mood. I don't really see it. It's a little difficult for me because he's never in a bad mood. I know I do have my moods. I have some serious moods. Come on, people. I'm in menopause. Come on, let's deal with that. Let's call it what it is. We go up and down and we go sideways, and I want to scratch your eyeballs out, and then I want to love you the next. you know, Not physically. Stop
I'm a little
it.
nervous right now.
Whatever.
Glad I got
But
on glasses.
but but to know that I'm in that space and don't tempt if you know that I'm in that space. And sometimes he'll just, I think
But
he'll
I think
test the waters a
that,
little
but
bit.
sometimes that comes, and I really believe it comes with time. Um, as you grow up, as you learn, as you get older,
Yeah.
you don't want to do the same thing you did before, and you recognize things like we're more in tune with each other, so I can recognize
Yeah.
when something is there, and yeah, you know what? When it does come up, I think it's oftentimes also because you yourself may not be in a place to be able to regulate yourself.
Mhm.
So if you're tired or you're in pain, and your spouse is tired and your spouse is in pain, but you're both at each other, like it's going to be a problem because nobody can control it at that point. Or to recognize somebody has to. It's kind of like if we both got sick, got the flu at the same time. who's gonna get up and make the tea? It's kind of like that. Like it's like that feeling, and sometimes you get to that point, but it's like as long as one person is, you know, fine and the other one's not, then it's like, okay, you know what? I can recognize that there's something going on, or something's there. So I may not push. And the push doesn't have to be a negative push.
Yeah,
It
you
could be
just
a positive push at my end, but it's just like, you know what? You're not in the mood.
like, leave it alone. I don't want to be
And you're not in the mood. And sometimes you just like, and it's okay. Like sometimes the joke is not funny. And not because you're not telling a funny joke, it's because you're not in the mood to laugh.
bothered.
So sometimes the joke is not funny.
And you know what? That's real talk
Mhm.
because there's times where I'm so annoyed, and it may not be with Jason, and maybe annoyed at a situation, and he'll be laughing, and I'm like, God, don't you see? I am not in the damn mood, And I'm gonna be
I love
honest.
to laugh.
I'm gonna be honest. I hold my grudges a little longer.
Yeah.
I do. You know, I need to go in the back and then soak a little bit, get my mad anger
See me,
out.
I'm
And
good. It's like,
it starts and he's over it. He
look,
said his
if
piece and
if
he
my
let it
uncle
go.
says, you come out and be like, you know what? I'm sorry, you were right. I'm done. The
He already
situation is
done. He
we
done.
good. Okay, what are we doing next? Like,
And I'm not, and
I'll
that's
say I'm
not me.
sorry. You were right. She'll be like, okay, and it's gonna stay on for a little bit. It's gonna be there
Cause he
but
done
I
cause
recognize that. So
but
now
why?
and
Because
understanding
I
that,
feel like it shouldn't have gone. To me, it's like it's that old saying, I'm gonna do this bad stuff now and deal with the consequences later. Sometimes I would think like, you knew this was gonna piss me off, but why
sometimes I
would you
didn't.
do?
Sometimes I didn't. Or sometimes
Sometimes.
I didn't. Or I didn't have the energy to really focus on not. And that's the difference. Like if I don't have the energy to focus, 'cause you do need energy. It takes some power, to just to will yourself to really say, you know what, I'm not gonna piss this person off right now.
I'm not gonna annoy her to death.
So you really got to think about that. So it's like, okay, and if I don't have that power right then and there,
Then
then
it's on and
hey,
popping.
no, it just
No.
whatever comes may come. It's one of those things, and it's like, damn, that was my bad. Like,
And by this time,
you know,
and now it's no coming back for
the
me.
next day I'm good because I'm like, you know what? Look, I've already rested. You know what? You're right. Or sometimes, you know what? You do recognize. Like, I believe it's okay to come back and recognize. You know what? My way of thinking was not the way of it should have thought.
Mhm.
And I see that now
Mhm.
because I've had time. We say to reflect. We do it with the kids. We tell them reflect on what you did right, reflect on what you did wrong, reflect on the choices that you made. And if
Exactly.
we reflect on it, we're like, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Maybe I was being a little bit of an
Oh, I
asshole
should have
there.
said that. And it's okay because, and I think that's where the point comes in. It's not. Yes, I agree, and I think what also took me time was understanding that, like, I'm like, I apologize, but my apologies weren't necessarily the apologies that were needed.
Right.
The apology needed to be, like more connected to what was going on. And once I realized that, it changed everything.
Yeah.
And that was the realization that you can just apologize to apologize,
Mhm.
and then you can apologize and really mean it and understand it. It's like, you know what? I apologize, and here's why. Because what I said was this, and that shouldn't have happened that way. It was like
Mhm.
that's different than apologizing, saying I'm sorry, but you did like so like totally different. So like that um
So we have
was
our
different.
setbacks. We do. I mean, but they're not big setbacks.
No,
They're
they don't last. They
they
don't
don't
like.
last like they used
We
to.
don't need to call our therapist
We don't need to call them and say, "Oh my
we
God, you
got
got
you
to
got
come
to
and kill Jason now."
911, 911, 911. She's coming for the eyes.
And I love that about us that we're now able to step away. At one point, again, we had to have a little bit of a tune up because we had to figure out how do we, because again, we're a work in progress. How do we come back to this disagreement? What do we need? Like, do it have to be in 24 hours? Do it have to be 48 hours? Could it be a week when everybody's calmed down? What are our trigger words? What are our keywords to say, okay, enough, stop, look, I'm here? Besides taking off all our clothes and then distracting each other, right?
I
Uh,
like that one.
I know you do,
Okay.
hush. But we had to learn, how do we stop and identify when it's getting out of control?
Yes.
And we had to have a little bit of a tune up. But again, I like that he says, "You all look. You're going to continue to be a work in progress. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to get you nearly there, but it's not going to be perfect." And so we have grasped, understood our flaws, know that we're going to continue to work through this. We're going to continue to make this our number one priority, because we love each other.
Yes.
And the love keeps us grounded and keeps us working at this marriage, and to take time to ourselves, to know, like, with me, I've gotten better with, okay, you know what? I'm not in a good mood. Let me go to the back room and just sit and chill. And Jay now understands, it's not that I'm trying to get away. Okay, she needs a little bit of time. But I like that he comes in and check in on me.
Hmm.
You good? You need anything? Because I'm more of so like that than he is. You are just a happy-go-lucky guy right here. I don't know how he do it every day, but I have so much respect for that, because I am a moody person, and to feel comfortable with knowing that I'm still a work in progress,
Hmm.
that whatever flaws that I have, it's okay.
Hmm.
And to know that I just continue to work on it and make it better. And
Another,
not to say that nothing else might come down the pipe.
and I guess also knowing that we're in this together.
Hmm.
We are for each other. We're not against each other.
Yeah.
And you give each other the benefit of the doubt, which
Yes.
is key. Like really thinking like, look, let's start from a place of this person loves me.
And he would never, or she would never do
Yes,
this.
they don't want to hurt me.
Right.
So where is this stemming from? And we think about it. We do it at work.
Hmm.
We have colleagues who's like, you know what, you never do anything like that. What's going on? Why are you doing that? We'll just go into like you're fired. Like it's a bit. So why don't we do that with our spouse? We have to do it with our spouse too. It's like, look, that's not you.
Give each other
So what's
grace.
what's 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 happening? And sometimes we recognize ourselves like, damn, my fault. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. And it
Mhm.
wasn't intentional. I just wasn't, in my right space right then and there,
Yes.
and it won't happen again. And I think that's the key is like just recognizing that sometimes you're just not you're not yourself.
Hmm.
It's like,
And it's okay.
and it's okay. I mean, like what Snickers even has a whole campaign around it. You're not yourself when you're hungry. And it's like it's hilarious, but that's true in life. Like, yes, people always, my gift is, like, yes, I can be on,
All the
all the
time.
time, but that's also my curse because the
Mm.
expectation is that I'm going to be on all
All
the
the
time.
time.
From everybody, not just my wife. It's also my friends and my colleagues and people who know me and associates because they know that's like. And you know what? There are those times where I'm not, and it's okay. And I've recognized that. I've accepted that. It's kind of even like when people say, like I remember I used to beat myself down for having a lazy day at home.
Oh, wow.
Like I
I
didn't
didn't
do
know
anything
that.
today, and I felt bad about it because I didn't do anything. And I realized maybe I didn't need to do anything. My
It's
mother used to always
okay.
say, like, you need to sit down before your body sits you down.
And your body
You
is not gonna
know,
be nice about
not
it.
at all. So it's like, you know what? Sometimes you need those days where you are sitting in that chair, you leaned it back, and you don't move. Maybe go to the bathroom, grab something to eat, but that's it. And it's okay
It is.
because you needed that at that time. If we sleep late, I believe we needed that at that
Mhm.
time. If you don't talk for a little bit, you needed that at that time, and that's okay. And but we definitely know that we got each other's back,
Yeah.
and no matter what, and if we recognize that at that point that person is just not there, then what are we going to do to pick it up? Like what can I do to help with whatever's going on right then and there?
So always remember, no marriage is 100%. Again, if there are some people out there that are perfect, please hit us up on Her Rock His Peace and let's talk about it. Because I want to know the secret. And we got to give each other's grace. We're always going to be a work in progress. Marriages are works in progress. That's why people stay together for so long. And I remember Jay did give me this one saying, at least one person has to continue to be in love to continue to make this thing work. Did I say it right, babe?
Yeah, yeah, that was right.
You
That's what
know,
that old couple told me.
and somebody's got to fight, and to give ourselves grace and mercy, to give each other the benefit of the doubt, to know that we are still a work in progress, and we're going to always be a work in progress. I think this makes the marriage last. It gives that foundation of stability that we need so it don't crumble.
Mhm.
And the more we build on it, the stronger it becomes. And to know what our triggers are and try to stay away from those triggers
Yes,
are important.
yes.
And to read those body languages and that facial expressions and that distance. Okay, something ain't right. Should I just step away and let her come to me? Should I just step away and let him come to me? Those kinds of things. So I'm a firm believer that we, as a human race, we are all works in progress, and to continue to build, because we're continuing to build on our marriage every single day,
Every day,
right? Every
every
day.
day, every day.
We,
We're
like
working.
I learned something about him today that I was like, wow, I had no idea. So we're learning from each other, you
Mhm.
know, and I have given myself grace.
And we've been together 13 years, 10 years married,
Mhm.
and every day, we learn something new or we build upon what we're doing. We build upon our relationship. We
Mhm.
grow together. We're definitely in a better place than we
Oh
were.
my goodness, we
And
are.
each day is better because of where we are and understanding each other. But it also came through, like you said, that therapy, that communication, all of that was key because without that, we wouldn't be here.
We would not.
The work in progress comes because we're constantly working. If both of us stop working, the marriage is not going to work.
Yeah.
We both have at least one person. Everybody can't fall asleep on a job. Somebody got to be up there,
To
especially
push the buttons.
somebody got to be on. Somebody. So as long as one of us, then we're good.
So, again, give yourself grace. We're all a work in progress. We will continue to be a work in progress. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Please subscribe. If you like this podcast, give us a like on Facebook, shout on Twitter, Instagram, and join us next week as we talk about what we talk about next week, babe. Are we gonna do ooh, this was a good one. The business of romantic
This
relationships.
one's going to end up being two parts.
Yeah, we're gonna have a two-parter on this one. A relationship, is it like a business or not?
Ooh,
So you might want to
that's the question.
there's your question for the day. All right.
A relationship, is it like a business or is it not? Think about that. Talk about that with your spouse. Talk about that with your partner.
Yes, and get some chatter going on. That's gonna be great. So, so be prepared. You don't want to miss it. You're gonna like this
There
one.
you
This is
go.
definitely gonna be a two-part one.
We keeping it going like we promised.
We doing this. So until next week, don't forget to tell your spouse, I love you.
I love you too.
You're my rock.
You're my peace.
All right, guys. We see you all later.
Peace out.
Bye.